Let's take a look at some legal matters now. A magistrate court in Abuja has ordered counsel to the Department of State Services to serve their proof of evidence in the case against the journalist Abiri, who regained his freedom yesterday after 2 years in detention, or have their case struck out. Presiding Magistrate Chukwuemeka Nweke made this order after the counsel representing the DSS failed to open its case against Mr. Abiri, as he asked for another adjournment, despite the magistrate's order at the previous hearing to commence trial. The case has been adjourned to Friday, August the 17th, 2018, for definite hearing. The publisher of the Weekly Source magazine was arrested on July the 21st, 2016, over an alleged link to armed militancy in the Niger Delta. He was also accused of fraudulently attempting to collect money from multinational oil companies in Nigeria. Following a public outcry, he was eventually charged with the offence on July the 27th, 2018, at the Chief Magistrate's Court in Wuse, Zone 2, Abuja, and later granted bail in the sum of 2 million naira and 2 sureties. Last week, the court reviewed his bail conditions following an application by his counsel, saying they were too stringent for him. And the Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned indefinitely the case against the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, for alleged contempt of court. At the resumed hearing of the contempt proceedings, Justice Stephen Pam held that, having received communication to the effect that the Court of Appeal has stopped the arrest of the INEC chairman, pending the hearing and determination of the appeal filed by the INEC chairman, adjourning the case indefinitely has become expedient. Justice Pam informed the parties that a new date for the commencement of the case would be communicated. Justice Abdul Aboki of the Court of Appeal had on Monday delivered a judgment stopping the enforcement of the warrant of arrest issued against the INEC chairman following an appeal filed by Professor Yakubu challenging the arrest warrant issued against him. Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Linda Akigbe. Hey, Linda.
Hello, Ijoma. Now to preparations for the 2019 elections. The Joint National Assembly Committee has failed to reach a consensus on the budget of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for the 2019 general elections. The Joint Committee has therefore invited INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu to appear before the committee to make further clarification on the budget for the 2019 general elections. Committee members also observe that there is a conflict in the request for election funds presented by the President and INEC. President Buhari requested that Parliament transfer 143 billion naira from projects it inserted into the 2018 budget to fund the 2019 general election, while the balance of 46 billion naira for the election will be included in the 2019 budget. INEC is, however, requesting for the lump sum of 189 billion naira. The chairman of the committee, Senator Suleiman Naziv, wants INEC chairman to appear before legislators on Friday, August 17, to make further clarification on the matter.
The whole meeting was called consequent upon the letter of Mr. President requesting for supplementary environment for the 2019 budget for elections of 2019 general elections. We have done what we needed to have done, and we have realized that there are a little bit of differences. So therefore, in view of that, it is the opinion of members of this joint committee that we invite the chairman of INEC for further clarifications tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And from there, this committee will make a press statement, and we will inform Nigerians of our position. I want to use this opportunity to assure Nigerians that this joint committee is committed to ensuring effective, credible, free and fair elections for the 2019.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it would put necessary measures in place to prevent vote buying, starting with the Osun State governorship election scheduled for September the 22nd. According to INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu, persons who engage in vote buying would be prosecuted and polling booths restructured in a manner that would be impossible for voters to show their marked ballot papers. He was speaking at the formal handover of registration certificates to the newly registered political parties in Abuja, where only 21 parties were handed the certificates as remaining 2 out of the 23 that were registered on Tuesday were absent. The 23 political parties have also been banned from participating in the Osun governorship election coming up on September 22nd.
The formal commencement of activities for the 2019 general elections begins tomorrow, Friday, 17th August 2018, with the publication of the notice of poll. This will be followed by the conduct of party primaries beginning from Saturday, 18th August 2018 to Sunday, 7th October 2018. The Commission is deeply worried about our elections, particularly the way they are becoming increasingly monetized. Vote buying is a cancer to our elections that we must work together collectively to stamp out. Accordingly, and on the part of the Commission, starting with the Osun State governorship election coming up on the 22nd of September 2018, we will change the way our polling units are administered, such that there will be no room for voters to expose their marked ballot papers between the voting cubicles and the ballot boxes. We shall further re-strategize with the security agencies for a more robust response to the arrest and prosecution of vote buyers. We'll also engage with all well-meaning groups for more effective voter education and voter sensitization.
The need for political parties and INEC to conduct free, fair and peaceful elections in 2019 takes center stage at the 2018 National Institute's Political Parties Summit in Abuja. Professor Atahiru Jega and Nigeria's former permanent representative to the United Nations, Ibrahim Gambari, asked the electoral umpire as well as political parties to ensure that they consolidate the gains of the 2015 elections and deliver peaceful and credible polls next year. According to Professor Jega, the structure and character of political parties and their candidates have great impact on the overall outcome of elections in the country.
The march to Nigeria's general elections intensifies by the day as the country moves closer to the 2019 general elections. Just as pressure continues to mount on political parties and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to ensure that the forthcoming election is peaceful and credible. It is for this purpose that the National Institute is organizing this conference with political parties in Abuja with the theme "Political Parties and Peaceful Conduct of the 2019 Elections, Our Pledge." The focus of the lead speakers, including that of the former chairman of INEC, is on the urgent need for the electoral umpire and the political parties to ensure that the 2019 general election is credible and peaceful.
I think it is regrettable that in Nigeria's Fourth Republic, the nature and the character of our political parties leaves much to be desired. So everything that needs to be done has to be done in order to ensure that as countries try to deepen their democracy, political parties are well structured, they are well organized, they have clear focus and objectives, and they have the capacity to mobilize citizens and voters.
INEC is an umpire. There is great expectation that the Independent Electoral Commission INEC will deliver a credible, free and transparent election in 2019.
The 2015 general election was adjudged to be peaceful and credible, contrary to the fears by many citizens prior to that exercise. The international community and other participants at the conference are not expecting anything less than the gains of the 2015 elections.
I call on all registered political parties in Nigeria to give practical expression to the code of conduct by abjuring violence, politics of bitterness, and discordant tendencies as we approach, of course, the 2019 elections.
In 2015, all the political parties came together to sign the peace accord in Abuja. Indeed, that act played a very significant role in peaceful conduct of 2015 general election. this summit wants to build on the success of the peace accord.
The official presentation of the Code of Conduct for political parties ahead of the general election is the high point of this summit. Endorsing this Code of Conduct is one thing, but living up to the content of the pledge is a key requirement for the success of the general election next year.
And that's all from Abuja. Back to you, Joma.
Thanks a lot, Linda. The Lagos state government has asked Lagosians to cooperate with the government to deal with the influx of illegal migrants, which is gradually having a negative impact on its local council development areas. The special advisor to the governor on security and intelligence, Mr. Kunle Ajanokun, says the move is necessary because investigations have shown that some Nigerians collaborate with foreigners who engage in unlawful acts.
86 migrants settle in Lagos every hour, according to the state government. And this adds pressure to the already overstretched resources of the state, where about 20 million individuals live and work. However, the government worries in what it has observed as an attempt by the migrants, especially those from neighboring countries, to infiltrate the electoral process. They also increase clusters and settlement in slums, as well as creation of local settlement administration, which competes with already existing traditional administration.
On a daily basis, we get reports of tension, conflict between some herdsmen, between some settlers, over wrong places for markets, wrong places for certain activities, usurpation of lands and all that. Collaboration with these foreign elements by our contiguous ethnic nationalities at our porous borders. Incentives offered by the value chains of commercial ventures like cattle trade and other aspects of contraband smuggling.
Some residents of the state agree with the observations and give suggestions on how to tackle the challenge.
Any recruitment as a night guard has to follow the following. One, you must have either a national identity card or you have a BVN. If you have a BVN, you can be tracked down as an Okada driver. You can be tracked down as a night guard. So it just becomes a law in Lagos State. If you are coming to Lagos, if you don't have any of this, don't come into Lagos.
The state government says it has begun working in the areas of data collation in collaboration with the Immigration Service, as well as empowering neighborhood watch groups as a strategy to curb the threat from the migration influx.